Hello. Right, we are recording. Isn't that fun? Right, and then if we go to the questions I had. 19 questions. Okay, so let me just check something. See if the recorder is still working. Yes, it's still working. So now both of them are working.
Oh, well, that's all right.
That's very funny. Computer. Sometimes I swear to God this thing takes the piss out of me. But anyway, this will not be recorded to the questions. Right. I'm trying to see if I can get this right. I haven't really got the best of questions, so I'm just going to kind of wing it a bit here and see what we get. So, can you just introduce yourself?
Yeah, my name's Martin Evans. I'm Principal Technician, IT Cluster for the University of Wolverhampton and Faculty of Arts. And what else do you want to know? The subject areas I cover are visual communications and media. That's the technicians who work under me work for. Directly, I tend to support visual communications more than media, but media as well with general day-to-day stuff.
Okay. So when did you actually start here then?
I started here in 1995, was it October 1995?
95. Okay.
Yeah, and I was a uni temp, which was just like a weekly paid temporary staff member for a year and 3 months.
Okay. So was it a university then, or was it a polytechnic?
Yes, it was a university
then. Right, so it's just after it changed.
Changed to university, I think the year before I started studying here as a student. So if you actually, I was a student here for 3 years before I started as a technician, and did a year before that at De Montfort as well.
Oh, De Montfort, right, okay. So you've had the experience of obviously being a student and then working in the same university forum where you actually studied. So obviously it's very different being a student and being a technician. So what challenges have you met and what surprised you? Right, it's still doing it still. So just put it on silent.
Challenges.
I know it's a big, broad question, but I don't want to ask closed questions like yes and no.
No, I suppose the first thing for me was actually confidence, because it's one thing being with the other students that you do your course with and talking to them and talking to lecturers as lecturers. But when I first started, it was having the confidence for supporting other students. I always did. I mean, it was one of the reasons I ended up here, was because I was phoned up by one of my lecturers to say, "Can you come and get us out of the hole? Because somebody's just is off sick, and we don't know when they're coming back. And can you just come and cover?" Because they knew that I'd usually sit down with the students who I studied with and with software and stuff and go, "Yeah, this is how you do that. That's how you do that." You know. So, but I was on the design. I did computing and design studies. It was design for society back then. So the graphics area, which was the technician I came to cover for, covered design for society and graphics. And of course, so I felt a little bit of an imposter in a way within the graphics area because I hadn't got as much graphics background as, in some ways, the students. So you were dealing with students that were, as it was, level 3, third year then. It wasn't level 4, 5 and 6 back then. And, you know, they'd come and ask you a question. It was sort of like, you know what you're talking about, but and if I didn't know what I was talking about, I'd say, I don't know about that. Or I'll go and find out about that. But so that was the confidence bit, because it was like, you know, supporting these students that are the level that I was last year. In the subject areas that I've not actually, I know design covered some of it, but not all of it. So that was interesting. Other things were just, it's a big place. There's lots of people to meet.
Quite a large site.
I didn't, before then, I'd had things to do with the computing lecturers. I hadn't had anything to do with IT services. Back then we had one guy from IT services who did Mac support.
Right.
And really what I came to do within graphics, as well as supporting software, was to support the computers.
Right.
And that guy from IT services, his name was Jonathan Silicon, he'd come over and we'd work together sorting out networking or whatever, because it wasn't the same sort of networks as we got there.
Yeah. So big changes then from graduating to being called out on an emergency almost, and then ending up here, I'm assuming, in a more permanent role.
Yeah. Well, it took them a year. It was about a year before they actually advertised the post.
Really?
Yeah. And there were two of us at the same time, because there was the guy that I was covering for. He didn't come back, and then one of the other technicians, she moved from graphics to media, so there was somebody covering her post as well.
Wow.
So then there was the guy who we worked under, or alongside Dave Lewis, who he'd been here for years. His background was print. He'd started doing the computer things, and he could use the computer stuff. But it was like, I think he was glad when we came along.
He needed the help.
Because it was like, it was a big new thing for him.
But it's a very complex setup within the disciplines as well.
Back then we only had, when I started, I can't remember if there were even any Macs within design as a student. But then when I was started as a technician, there were, might have been 5 or 6 Macs in design. There was a couple of labs sort of things, maybe 20 in graphics. And then we had a lab of PCs put on the first floor. So, the IT grew quite a lot while I was here.
Okay. In reference to design in itself, obviously there's the technical aspect, there's all the software support that you do and the knowledge that you have. We all know it's huge, sort of like looking at you going, how do you know all this? Do you know what I mean? I can't remember, how to sometimes get my PC to work, and Martin's there just going, they're doing this to that. I mean, the issue thing you took us through, for me, was, I was just like, I was a bit gobsmacked. Okay. But you made it nice and simple. It was really, really good.
Yeah.
So you've got all of that side of it, but do you yourself actually design stuff as well?
Sometimes, not so much these days, but I used to. I think I've fallen more into the technical role over the years. Now, strangely, my partner, who's not got that sort of background, tends to be doing more stuff than me. But no, I mean, I've always been. I did A levels in photography and art, art and textiles, and then like CDT subjects, design and realisation types. But I'm not. Yeah, I've gone through phases of. I enjoy painting, things like that. And if people ask me to, will you do this, type, design this magazine or design this poster or design this, I'll do it. But I don't necessarily go and do stuff my own back.
Right. Well, it's just, I was just, the reason I asked is because you've got all of that knowledge.
Yeah.
And I Did you have anything to do with the Christmas cards or anything like that? I can't remember.
Not this year.
Not this year. Because I saw the bearded Christmas card, which was Mark, and I thought it was yours. And then it turned out it was Mark. I was like, oh, okay. So I was like, okay, but
I didn't know they were doing anything.
Yeah.
At one point in time, I used to do the faculty, like the school one. So they'd send me the image they wanted to use or whatever, and I'd make it up and it'd go out to the services.
Because, I mean, I'm presuming that, because we don't, and it's not criticism, so we don't see you at work, but you're busy all the time. Every time I see you,
No, I know what you mean.
you're off somewhere, let's go and do this, and you're like, there's not a sense of urgency, but you can tell that you're preoccupied, and you're like, okay, you've got this problem with this printer, I've got that to do, let me go and do that first, and I'll back in 20 minutes, and I'll come and sort, or 10 minutes, and come and sort this out as quick as I can. You just always seem to be on it, so the role in itself, in just this building, let alone I don't know what's going on over there, it sounds like a mammoth amount of work to stay on top of it all.
But even when I was just more, what's happened is because our subject areas are the only ones with any IT, then really no IT technicians got brought into the subject areas. What we ended up doing was supporting in subject areas to an extent, more the actual computer than than all the software, more than actually your centered in supporting the subject. So there's different people that do IT or were brought in to do, computer-based things, but they don't necessarily do the nitty-gritty of the computer bit.
Yeah, I see what you mean.
Whereas I suppose because of my background, that was why I ended up doing that. Also, IT services got formed as it is now while I was a technician.
Right, I see.
And at one point in time, there was talk that I'd have ended up in IT services instead of being subject-based, because that's what they did. They took any technician that was in the subject that had anything to do with IT and put them into IT services. But Dean of school at the time stopped that happening. So,
Interesting times.
Yeah.
Going back to the beginning, so when you started as a technician and now today, obviously I'm assuming there's been a big difference in or things.
Big difference. Back then I was supporting two subject areas, but that was what I did, and supporting the IT equipment that they
Just give me 1 second. I think that phone call might have shut us down.
Would you want to check if that one is?
It is recording, but I don't think it's picking up any. Yeah, it is, because it's. Hello? Yeah, it's moving now. Yeah. It's moving, so it must have picked up something. Yeah, it's still recording, so it's fine. Telephone call from my landlord, but he can wait for the moment. More important people to talk to. So maybe 2 seconds, right? Don't do that, all that. Give it as much RAM as possible, or whatever. Then again, these things, they can run hundreds of programs at once. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
That's right. Right, he's left a message. That's fine. Okay, so done that. Yes, for the stream. So sorry, going back to changes. So is it pretty much the same, but we've got newer stuff? Do you think, or is it better now? Or?
Things have changed floors. Things have. When I started, we only had a colour printer. Well, it was a colour photocopier. We had a RIP, raster image processor, that processed the images from the computer to print. And depending on the file size of those, it could take a few minutes, 5 minutes to half an hour to process a file or more. So back then the technicians ran all that side. So me, Dave and Gary, we did the printing. We also did the colour photocopying for the students. Back then then as well, the machines would jam a lot more than they do now, and you know, you'd forever opening it up and having to do stuff to it. And yeah, I mean, the pieces of software have changed, but basically most of the things were the same. You know, people producing packaging, editorial work. Even back then, there was some multimedia. We used to use a piece of software called Director.
I've heard about this, yeah.
Live
software, definitely mentioned that as well.
And it was like the precursor to Flash. It didn't carry on for you can still buy it, I think. So what happens is the software needs more to run it, or you're doing bigger images. Back then, really, if you were doing a long document, you'd use placement, smaller file size versions of the image really for doing your document, and then you were supposed to put the big file size images in at the end before you printed the final thing. Or you'd end up doing things in multiple documents, so you hadn't got the whole thing open at once. Some things Photoshop will do things you never did before. But a lot of the basics are the same. We did a lot as a student. We did a lot on the grid and how to design to the grid and things like that. And maybe we did more paper-based stuff before we mapped it all.
So a lot of the processes themselves, the principles are still the same.
Oh yeah.
They haven't changed because that's what.
No, pieces of software have changed. We used, when I started, we used freehand for drawing instead of Illustrator. We used Quark Express instead of InDesign because it didn't exist. Well, there was PageMaker as well. We had, say, Director. Those were our basic. And Photoshop. I mean, the big leap with Photoshop was when it suddenly did layers.
Yeah, that was massive. That was massive.
Yeah.
It was a massive, I don't need to rub that out now, or try and put that behind that and then cut that bit out.
Yeah.
It's a massive thing. Before you just start montaging you in there anyway, it's quite weird.
With the amount of... And then everything was floppy disks. So everything had to fit on a floppy drive. Then we went to zip drives or SideQuest disks. Then magneto-optical drives. And then finally CDs, burning things to those, and USB sticks.
Burning CDs was a big business.
Well, we had LC2s, LC3s, and some classics, 2FX, and Quadros and things. Then we had some of the first iMacs.
Oh my god, yeah.
And when they came in, because they were the first thing to have USB, they came, the only thing that plugged into them was, that we got at the time, was the keyboard and mouse. You'd got a built-in, I'm sure they got built-in writers, CD writers. But it was the only way you could get anything on and off them, because nobody had invented, there weren't USB hard drives and there weren't USB sticks. And it was like, so Apple had produced this thing that you can't really get anything on and off on.
How weird is that?
Then they started to produce the USB super disk drives and things like that. But yeah, for a while you were sort of stuck in a like no man's land of how are we going to make this work?
You must have been a crazy like, yeah, we got it, and then
hang on a minute.
It doesn't plug into anything.
No.
God. What I was going to say was then, what's the best thing about the job and working at the university? Position you hold?
Probably just helping people. I think the first time I'd ever thought about being a technician was when I was at college, because it used to be just the same, but then we had, it was more the screen print area. There were a couple of technicians when I was at college, but we never seemed to see them. So if we were doing screen, we hadn't got an handy sort of thing. We'd got a screen print room that was like for making the screens sort of thing, which is a wash area and like an exposing thing like that. And we did it all ourselves. We did, but some of the students I used to, I was weird, didn't like that. Like, I'm not touching that stuff. You know, the light sensitive material that you'd put onto your silk screen. Some of the girls were a bit like that, so I'd do that sort of stuff for them, you know, prep screens and things. We all helped each other, sort of thing. And I enjoyed doing that, and that was probably the first time I thought, oh, that wouldn't be. But then it sort of went out of my head totally. Went to do a degree, textile and knitwear technology. I was doing at De Montfort, so it's totally different. And while I was there, things didn't go quite as I'd wanted. There was 3 strands to it: a design, management, design management, and dyeing and finishing sort of strand. I hadn't got the science background for dyeing and finishing, unfortunately, and they wanted me to move into the design management sort of side. I wasn't what I wanted to do. So that's why I finished at the end of the first year. But while I was there, we'd done a lot of computing modules. Wow. So, and the first time I'd ever used an Apple Mac, that was. I mean, up until then I'd used BBC computers and some. Oh yeah, BBCs.
Yeah, I remember that.
When I was at, and the Archimedes had just come in, but I never really got to use them. So it was BBCs when I was at college as well. We didn't have anything. Might have had some. Had some PCs as well. Because I did an apprenticeship for a year as well, which that was PC based. So that was electronics. So I've had a bit of a varied career. In a few, deciding what I was doing. So all those sort of things come together, and then it was like, what am I going to do when I'm not doing these textiles then? So I applied to do computing, and then at that time you could do joints degrees. So I applied to do computing and design studies. At that time, design studies was only one module. So the other module was I chose illustration. So for the first year I did design, illustration and computing. So it was, and I suppose I've always liked helping people with what they do. I'm better at helping somebody else do what they need to do than actually motivating myself to do the thing that if it's for me. I don't know why, it's just how I am.
It's good. It's interesting to hear that. I suppose that you could argue that's probably. I know it's not the same as being like a nurse or whatever it is, but I think that these things are the word I'm looking for. You've seen me when I'm running around going, "Oh my God, print's not working!" Oh fuck! You see me, and when you guys turn up and I don't know, you do whatever you got to do. I mean, it's not that we can't do it, but we're not even allowed to touch these things. No, plus we might hurt ourselves, and plus I don't know what I'm doing when I get in the printer really, if I'm running. And sort the problem out, and it's like, yes. So I know that from that point of view of like the urgency of it, and being able to produce your work on time, not fail your module or whatever it is. I'm like, yes, please.
It's not always. It's people, especially deadline time. People just get in a panic, and the thing that they would do normally and be able to sort out themselves and think. You know, sometimes a bit of logic goes out the window because you're stressed out with.
You stop thinking
what you do.
So what I mean, it's very admirable that you have that quality within you and the will to do it as well. A lot of us are not like that. Do you know what I mean?
I suppose. I don't know. I mean, I suppose you only know what you like yourself. But yeah, I
think that's fantastic. Final question then, I think, because I'm just thinking. Let's take a quick look. See, this thing is not going to remind me of anything. Because you've given me quite a lot to go on already. I'm not going to ask what was the worst thing, because everyone has bad days. When everything goes wrong and whatever, and you're just snowed under trying to fix things all day. I suppose you probably have those sort of things, but
hopefully, there's usually an upside to it in the end.
Mm-hmm. What I was going to ask was if there was a change you could make within the sphere of influence that you have, what would it be? More money. give the university more money for the arts building. No, that's one.
That's one thing. Yeah, it would be nice.
They're like, give me a new canteen. Shut up.
I think the thing is, I suppose, I'm going to be diplomatic now. The managers have a difficult job, and they get influence and have influences from other parts of the university that we don't necessarily realise. Because this place, we had a canteen on the first floor years ago. That canteen was then taken out because they wanted to bring textiles in from Kidderminster. That was there when they were originally. It was the carpet design course. So things have moved around in this building so much over the years. Ceramics used to be on the fifth floor. Fifth floor. So when you walk onto Fifth, you've got the offices and things as you walk on. To the bit where the school offices and all that. Yeah. But if you went into 517, that going that way, it was a big slope going down instead of the set of stairs, and that was where all the throwing wheels were. Oh, the ceramics. All the kilns were up there. This place was, this at one point was a school office. It's been
sectioned up, was it?
Yeah, there was a partition walls in, and it's changed so many times.
You wouldn't believe it.
It's been a gallery space. We had a proper gallery on first floor, and that was double height. Where the rank of cupboards, glass cabinets are on second. Instead of those, it was a balcony, and you could see over into the gallery space. So you've got, it was, if it was sculptures and things that were there, you could look down onto it all. Yeah, but this building's changed so much. So I don't know. It's a big. Sometimes you wish you had more input into certain things, and at certain times within my career, I have had more input, and that is definitely down to whoever the management are at the time. But equally, then you sort of get asked when they want to ask you, and then when they don't. So, it's the only thing I'd like. It'd be nice if it was a bit more open. When things are happening, there's always a lot of. And it's always the same. It's very closed, and we all tend to find out at the last minute what's going on. And sometimes you don't feel that when they just do decide to consult everybody, that they're actually giving the people who have to use the space enough time to make the decisions. Whereas, somebody makes a decision, this is going there, that's going there, that's what furniture is going in there. does that really work for the subject area?
Yeah, it needs to have full concentration, really.
And the other thing is that we do things like that. We've in the past we've built areas in specific locations, and specific equipment's gone in, and the next minute you move to another floor, and it's so things aren't always, I don't know,
not always
as cohesive as
kept
they should
abreast
be.
of situations and things that are going on.
Yeah, it's like, well, okay, why did we spend all that on doing that when you just decide, we were told so many times, this is your chance to have your refurb or whatever, or your whatever is needed for your subject, and then they do it, and then everything changes within the next year.
Unfortunately, this is a story that I keep hearing all over the place.
I suppose a lot of businesses are probably like it.
Same businesses and companies you reckon it's the same. Everyone's the same right that everyone seems to have in management, who's sort of not head of their department, but team leading, supervisor, some sort of departmental manager, and their managers, and then you've got the guys above, and they don't speak to each other. So say we're going to do this, get that done, and then hang on, it's going to take X amount of money and this, and you can't do that because of this. Especially when you do physical stuff as well. It's quite art design's quite physical. There's a lot of software involved. The end product that comes out is usually a physical object. So it's quite difficult to get that across to them. So I can fully appreciate where you're coming from. I've been there many times myself.
I suppose the other thing is that we haven't got as many technical staff as we had. When I started, there were graphics. There were 2.5 posts, I suppose. The other half was in design. I can't remember how many classes. Photography lost a lot of people because there used to be there were 3 technicians plus a storeman. It's just other areas of gained. There were 3 technicians on the 4th floor, but then there was also 2 technicians up in, there used to be a wood workshop up in Fine Art. So there were 2 technicians up there. But other areas have come in, I suppose, as well. Video came in. Animation didn't exist.
Yeah, it's a big
Games
thing now,
design didn't
yeah.
exist back then. Lots of things have changed in that way.
For the better, though, or
Yeah, well, it's whatever's the new subject area. It's like product design was here when I started, but interiors wasn't. That came about after. Sculpture and painting were more separate back then. Painting was on 7th, sculpture was on 6th. It's hard to say what whether it's better or worse. Really.
It's just different.
Yeah.
Change. They always change. What are your plans for Christmas?
I'm with my parents and my partner. Yeah, just all together.
It's Christmas dinner.
Seeing family. But you will. Old days we'll be together. How about yourself?
Same. They're going to be. Well, it's going to be me and my other half and the little one. We had Christmas dinner in Milton Keynes last week.
Oh right.
Yeah. So just on there, munching away and whatever. You're on the Instagram, aren't you?
Yes.
I'll link you on there because we went into the toilets and there was some interesting graphic design in the toilets, which was quite weird. It's like, there's a hand dryer and it's drawn above it. Push the button and there's a pair of hands that said receive bacon and there was like these red lines like this. We're like, but it's quite funny. And you go to the toilets and it says drinks disposable in there. And there's like beer, spirits. What's going on in this toilet? And then they had this one that had a list and it was just like things that I hate, and it said lists. Inconsistency or written in different typography. It's actually quite clever, really well done. I've seen a lot of toilets where you just put posters on the wall.
Yeah.
But that was actually quite tastefully done. And,
Yeah.
I was like, oh, this is actually very good graphic design. It's actually quite funny.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I'll link you on there. Just have a look at those posts and stuff. But Martin, thank you very much for being a good sport. It's been very interesting. Yeah, let's hope so. Because I was a bit worried that people were just going to go, no. And with all the subs and everything that was going on, I just didn't have, not in the one sub for the library, I was just like, and plus you've got to crack on with the other two, you can't let them slip.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? You're just like, blimey, this is not really going very well.
Who's this one for?
This is for Clive. Look,
right.
just on time. So Clive definitely said on, I think it's January 4th.
Yeah.
We've got to have this in.